Hello, and welcome to episode 210 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach,
And I'm Jeff.
and we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers, talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular, the online client, MTG Arena.
And that is right. This week, we are talking all about new things, new Magic sets coming out next year, as well as the Pro Tour, some other stuff. I love these episodes. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
But also, they're really fun, but also there's like a hint of, I don't know, dread to them just a teeny bit after like
A bit of
last
a
year.
grab bag style
Yeah.
episode, yeah.
Like I think usually they were, when we started the podcast, they were very, very exciting. And now as we moved into the new era of Magic, there's like a little tinge of I don't know as you kind of venture out into whatever the new world is. But we will be looking at all the stuff and we'll tell you how or what we're thinking about all the new sets and all the new stuff happening. But first, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap this week?
All right, this one is very exciting. This week, we have Mr. October, because it is officially October, if you didn't get the memo. This is a Fest beer, which is exactly what it sounds like, a style of beer for German Oktoberfests. The cool thing about Left Field is we have a bit of a history with Left Field in that Left Field is a great brewery out of Toronto. They have been, one of the better breweries in Toronto for so long that even when we started the podcast, they were around. And they we avoided them for a very long time. I think we ended up actually doing like a couple of their flagship beers at one point, but that's it over the course of our entire episode history. And we used to do multiple beers per episode, so like we really churned through Toronto breweries, and took forever to do this one, and almost never did it for one simple reason. Zach, what was that reason?
Their beer cans were so small. They were
Yeah,
tiny. What is
they
this, a
sold
Coke?
beer
What is
in.
this? Horrible. I mean, this isn't a
Yeah.
soda pop. Come on, get out of here.
What is this, beer for ants?
Yeah.
They sold all their beer in like the 355 milliliter, like, yeah,
Yeah.
pop can size. And that didn't stop them from charging tall boy prices for it. So
Yeah.
that offended us on a deep level. We want more beer than 355. We're
Yes.
tall can folk. And Left Field has finally seen the light, Zach.
They have.
They've finally seen the light, and I am starting to see basically all of their classic beers and some of their newer stuff just flooding the LCBO, which is the local liquor store, with tall can versions of Left Field beers. I
Finally.
feel like at the same price as their short cans used to be.
This and a lot of other places are doing this as well, because I feel like I've also seen small cans from like Burdock and some other breweries, and
Yes,
then they're
yeah.
all going to everything should just be uniform. It looks better on the shelves, just like all the same size.
I wonder if
can.
the LCBO is pushing that, because the LCBO is allowed to kind of do whatever they want. They're the only
It's true.
like the only place in town. And I hear from some people who sell beers through the LCBO that they can be a bit tyrannical to work with. And like, if they tell you you have to do something, you kind of have to do it.
Yes, they also decide how much you're going to charge for your beer.
Yeah. And you're not allowed to sell it cheaper elsewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Even at like a quote unquote fire sale or something where you're trying to get rid of something, you cannot undercut the LCBO, or they can't find out about it.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's government, it's government owned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I actually wonder if the like looks good on the shelf or standardization thing is actually, you know,
Well,
the,
the
the
LCBO
LCBO
is
cracking down on that.
doing something right if this is them, because
Or
finally,
they just hired someone who felt similarly to us, maybe listens to the podcast and was like, they're right.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, all the letters that
Short
we've been
cans are
sending.
unacceptable. Yeah, all the letters we send every weekend.
Yeah,
Finally,
exactly.
after years and years.
Years and years. But anyway, so I know that's a lot about like Toronto beer stuff, but we were just excited that tall cans are just the way the beer is served these days. And so every brewery should have tall cans. If you have small cans of stuff that isn't like some sort of special, really high proof something, blah blah blah.
Yeah, look, if it's
Like,
a Russian Imperial Stout or whatever, I get that a tall can of that can be
I
a lot.
understand, yeah.
Yeah.
But usually you're getting a big bottle anyway, so like, come on.
It's true. It's usually even bigger. So.
Yeah, it's usually huge. It's like a wine bottle. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, let's crack open our first October beer of the year. I love all the special October beers. It's fun.
The fest beers are good. There's a
They are
different
good.
type of famous October beer that I'm less into.
Oh, Jeff, we're gonna get into that too. I'm excited.
I know you're gonna make me do it. You always do.
Yep, it's a tradition. At this
Goes
point, it's
back
a
to like
tradition.
episode 3.
It does. It does. We will keep that a secret for all of you who don't know what we're talking about. But we will have some more fun beers at the end of the month, perchance. Perchance. Well, Jeff, with that, we have some Magic news. It was the Pro Tour this weekend. Pro Tour Edge of Eternities? Pro Tour Edge of Eternities. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. And, well, there's no spoilers in sports. So congratulations to Michael DeBenedetto Plummer. I have tried to say that name very fast, and I cannot do it, so I slowed it down for us. But Michael DeBenedetto Plummer. There we go. Okay, I did it. I'm perfectly fine at this. Anyway, he took it down. Congratulations, Michael. Crazy run and great. He took the whole thing down with Tameshi Belcher in Modern. Now, I'm not extremely familiar with Modern decks, but I did really enjoy watching the top 8. And I was rooting for this deck at certain times. And it's a combo. It's a combo deck. It's a combo deck. But I really liked the play style of it. It was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And
So I didn't know about this deck. I feel like I sort of follow Modern intermittently. Like every once in a while, I'll watch.
you
like,
used to
Gavin
play
C.
Modern.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a bit of a soft spot for it because at one point it was a lot of fun. It's just difficult to keep up with, especially when they started printing these straight to Modern sets.
Yeah.
So now I kind of like casually observe occasionally. But even as much as months ago, I don't think this was necessarily a dominant archetype, but it showed up really well in this event. I remember Belcher being like always a thing in the background.
Yeah.
That being said, I definitely don't know the ins and outs of it. I sort of basically understand the essential idea of the Belcher combo. That's about it. But nevertheless, it was pretty clear just from watching a few of these games that Michael was playing out of his mind. He was playing extremely well. This guy was locked in. And
yes, in the mirror matches, he was crushing. It was a feat to see. So just for those of you who didn't watch the tournament, who don't really know what we're talking about as far as like Belcher combos, it's specifically talking about the card Char Belcher, Goblin Char Belcher. And essentially the card, it's an artifact. And what it does is that you can pay 3 mana and tap it, and you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a goblin or a land. And then it deals damage equal to the number of cards that have been revealed. Now, the point of the deck is that you don't have any lands in your deck that look like lands on the front side, and you don't have any goblins. So it just runs through your entire deck and just smokes your opponent for whatever, 40 or something, 50. That is the point of the deck, and that's kind of the combo. So all the lands in the deck are all MDFCs. So you're playing like Seagate Restoration, Suppressing Ray, any of those cards that are like, it's mostly mono blue. So you're just playing any MDFCs that have blue in it that, some of them might be able to be cast. Some of them, I think all of them can be cast, but the majority of the time it's just like, yeah, I'm playing this because it's blue, and it's an MDFC, and that's the way that you're trying to win the game is by doing the Charbelcher thing. But a big part of the combo is that you play Tameshi. So Tameshi is a creature. It's Tameshi Reality Architect. And this is a creature from Kamigawa. Essentially, what it does is that it lets you return a land from the battlefield back to your hand, and then you can return an artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And you're trying to return Lotus Bloom, which is a 0-cost artifact that gives you mana. It's just like it's a Black Lotus. It just has to spend. And so the part of the combo is that you're just getting a ton of mana so that you get to play Goblin Charbelcher and activate it on the same turn. And you can do it fairly quickly because, well, you can get your Lotus Blooms out in different ways by like either getting into the yard somehow or casting Whir of Invention to go grab one. And then all of a sudden you have like 12 to 16 mana, and you just have so much mana that you can counter all your opponent's things while they're trying to stop you from comboing, and then you win the game. And all that sounded like fun to me.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of combo decks in general, so I was kind of rooting, and there was a lot of it at this event, or at least a lot of it at the top
In the
tables.
top,
Like
yeah.
there was the Tameshi Belcher. I consider Amulet Titan a combo deck. Maybe not everyone does, but it feels very combo. Like it feels
does feel
very,
combo-y.
or at least the things that I don't like about combo decks, the very like solitaire feel to them of like they either go off and do their thing or they do nothing, and so the game's not really fun for me as the opponent. Titan has that, where it's
Yeah.
like they're just kind of they're optimizing their own thing, and it's a very complex puzzle, and I'm always impressed by people who can play it really well, but I still don't want to sit there while you logic out your turn sequence to figure out how I'm dead. Like it's not that fun for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't like about combo decks. But okay, so there's Titan, there's Tameshi Belcher, there was Goryo's Vengeance, I think, and there was Neoform. Like it was just all over the place with these just like
Combo
I'm
things.
just a combo deck. What I appreciated about Michael's win is that I saw him win by attacking, like combat damage. I saw him win by like taking control of the game against a control deck. I saw him win by the combo, obviously. And like he knows his deck so well and was playing to the
So
correct like line and way to win. And none of his games, or at least none of the ones that I watched, felt like I'm just sitting here optimizing based on my own deck and not based on what you're doing and interacting with you. Like the games actually felt interactive. And so I was totally fine with that, right? Like if I just lose to Michael because he's better than me at Magic, that's great. Like I just don't want to sit there, he takes a 30-minute turn that
Yeah,
he's just thinking through his own lines and what I do doesn't matter. Like that's not fun to me.
No, definitely not. But like I guess what I was like trying to explain the sequencing that was making it really interesting to me is that it was reminding me of the kind of tempo-y decks where you're like, when am I supposed to try to commit things to the board, and when am I supposed to protect against their combo? And specifically talking about the mirror match, there was a great mirror match in the top 8 where it's like they're both trying to figure out like, can I try to go for this right now? If you have it, the game's over. And so I need to make sure that you have enough free spells to keep up, and it's all about cards in hand, and because you're playing like Flare of Denial and stuff, so you want to make sure you can like have a creature on the board or all that stuff. It was very interesting. And getting down to like a Strix Serenade, which is a counter spell that gives your opponent a 2/2, ended up being a huge, like almost winning the game for his opponent because it was like beating him down turn after turn.
Right.
It was just those are the things that made it really interesting. It's like, okay, well, nobody's really comboing. Everyone's prepared for the combo. And now it's just about 2/2s. It's like,
Yeah. And honestly, at times it reminded me of one of my favorite matchups to play in Modern when I played, which was like the rando mid-range deck I was playing against Infect. Because the thing there was always like, I have a removal spell. I know you have a pump spell. But if I, or like pump slash protection, if I react first, then you get to put your protection spell on top, but that also happens to pump insane damage, and then I just get screwed, so I can't. But if you do it, first, I'm going to kill your thing, so you can't. So we're just like sitting here, and I'm taking one infect as we both stare at each other every turn, trying to like figure out a way to break this holding pattern. It felt like that a lot of the time, where it's like, I know you could try to kill me right now, but it's not going to work, and then I'll kill you. So it's
Yeah, it's
just
like so neither of us can really play anything, and all the yeah. I found that to be fascinating, and it was really cool. And I was also looking at the deck, being like, okay, well, you're not playing, your mana base is like no fetches, and in my mind, I'm like, Modern fetches super expensive. This is one of the reasons I can't play Modern, the mana base, and like Legacy and everything. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see how expensive this deck will be. I took Michael's deck, I put it in Face to Face, which is our big game store here in Toronto, and it was about $1,000. So I was like, shoot.
yeah,
Yeah, it turns out Seagate Restoration is
Blooms,
very
probably.
expensive.
Seagate Restoration, really?
Yeah, that was like, I mean, that was basically, oh, these are your lands, right? So it's like this
Yeah,
card is like $30, and then, all the free counter spells I kind of forgot about. The cheapest part of the whole deck is that all the combo pieces are like super cheap.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like Charbelcher's cheap, Temeshi's cheap, Lotus Blooms are fairly reasonable, but it's all the protection around it that's so expensive.
Right, like force of negation
Yeah,
type stuff. I also like to see my boy kind of doing some work in Modern. Shout out to Juari Disruption.
yeah.
Way to go, baby. You made it.
Su- The
We
fact
made
that
it.
like that was pretty cool. I had mentioned earlier that Suppression Ray was just one of the lands. It kind of popped up because in the finals, in the final match to win the tournament, Suppression Ray was cast to tap down a blocker so that they could get a planeswalker off the board, so that they wouldn't get. Basically, Michael was playing against a Azorius control player who can win on two different axes, and the
Is
main
this one of the times that you were rooting for the combo deck?
This was the main time I was reading.
I was like against Azorius Control. This was
Yeah.
what you're talking about for sure.
Yeah. So it was like I was watching the finals, being like, well, I'm definitely rooting for the combo deck because I don't like control decks very much, and the control decks win conditions are like have Narset on the battlefield and play like Days Past. Is that the card?
Days Undoing. Yeah.
Days Undoing.
So that also, even the control deck is a combo deck.
Because that's one of the combos, which is like, oh, we shuffle all your stuff into your library, draw 7, except for Narset's out, so you draw 1. Or you play Icycron Scepter with Orim's Chant, so that you make sure that your opponent
just
can't
lock
cast
them
any
Uh-huh.
out.
spells on their turn, and then you have to 3 fairy, so that they can't cast spells on your turn, and they will never cast spells on their turn, so then the game's over.
Makes it tough to cast spells.
Yeah, it makes it tough to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like the Orm's Chant thing. That's funny. I enjoy that because I like Icycron Scepter. I just as a kid, I still have feelings about.
I
Icycron
remember that
Scepter.
kind of cheesy. I had enough of that cheesy stuff back when Ice-Crown Scepter was a thing as a kid. Even
Yeah. I mean, I never really played against it for real. I just had it against my friends, and we were doing stupid stuff.
yeah.
So it was just fun. But anyway, so yes, I was rooting for this Charbelcher deck throughout. So
I
I'm
wanted
happy it
Esper
won.
Blink to win, but did not.
Well, sorry, buddy, that didn't happen.
Or
I-
weirdly enough, I was just like, what was the other one? I think it was Is It Tempo? I was like, normally you're my enemy, but
But
today the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
is my friend,
And then they played each other. It was like Esper Blink against Is It. I was like, oh,
You're like-
no.
one of you is going to get out of here. Anyway, it was a pretty cool top 8 because every single match leading up to the finals went to 5 games. Which
The
is
finals was a 3-0, right?
it was a 3-0. It was a clean sweep by Michael, which is funny because when you play best of 5, of course, the first 2 games aren't sideboarded. And both players thought that they were at a disadvantage until sideboard. They're like, after sideboard, my deck gets way better. But Michael just crushed. So
Somehow they were both right. Like, who was it in the finals against Michael? What's his name?
Francisco Sanchez.
Francisco, yeah. Francisco is right. He's not favored in the pre-board games. And Michael was right that once he gets access to his sideboard, Francisco doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. So that was pretty. It was pretty sick. Even though it's not a format that I really play or am super familiar with, these are the times I'm really happy to go watch this stuff. Also, like, even watching an old, quote unquote, old draft format with Edge of Eternities, it was really fun to see some of those games. There were some crazy games. There was like
Okay, well, let's start. Did you watch all of it, or did you?
I didn't watch all of it. No, I had to work throughout the weekend, so I did miss chunks. I was working a wedding on Saturday, and so during the ceremony, I was watching the Pro Tour because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I watched the first draft, but I didn't watch the second one.
Okay.
First of all, Ken Yukihiro's, who we were following in that draft. I don't think he made any decision that I would have made. So I was immediately hooked because I was like,
What is happening?
It's been no secret that I did not do well in that format. I've been losing a lot. And immediately this, absolutely world-class player is just making completely different decisions than I would have. So I was like, okay, let me get my notebook out here.
Yeah, let's see
I wouldn't
what's
have
going
picked
on.
any of these cards. And his final deck looked bad to me.
It did. It did look bad.
It was like a blue-black tempo draw or play 2 spells, which is blue-white's mechanic.
Yeah.
And he took like a second or third pick Hilderblade or something. Now, I was ready to be like, okay, I've just been doing it wrong. But I think you called it exactly. That the draft feature match, the player always goes off the rails and like, oh, three.
Always.
Like,
Always.
always happens.
What did he end up going?
I don't think we followed his third match. If I
'Cause he
remember
was out
correctly.
of it.
He was 0-2 for sure.
So then
then-
I don't know if they told us officially, because I remember his second match was against JED, and that was
That one was awesome.
crazy.
The first one,
match.
Ken just gets rolled by like I think it was a Gruul deck.
It was like a teamer. I think JED was playing like teamer. Good.
Oh no, but match 1,
Sorry, the first.
Ken just
right.
gets like messed up by just big dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how I expected this.
That's
like if
what
I
the
had
format
drafted
is
this
like.
deck, that's what I'd be worried about. 5/5s.
Yeah, literally, that's the format in my mind. 5/5s.
Yeah, and he got messed up by some 5/5s. But then match 2 against JED, I guess there was a similar sort of push and pull to it of JED has much bigger stuff and Ken has to be like crafty and tricksy. But man, every game was good in that match. And the first one gave me whiplash. I was like, this guy's going to win for sure. No, this guy's going to win for sure. No, Ken's going to win. No, Johnny Manuel's going to win.
If they had that meter, they used to have a meter that would tell you who's
Yeah.
advantage to help
I would
you.
have loved to be
It just
the
would
guy
be
doing that, just like ripping it. Like,
Yeah. It's just like a guy in a background with a flag, and he's running one way, and he runs the other way. Because it was...
If you appreciate Edge of Eternity's draft at all, like if you liked that limited format and if you played any amount of it, you should go back to the VOD and watch this match because this was a crazy match.
I'm sure that you can find it on YouTube just as like a single match that's like outside of the VOD, because it was phenomenal. It's like Ken is for sure dead. You're like, there's no way you're gonna survive. Like, JED has the freaking giant pasty tramply worm thing, and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do? I have to like draw cards to try to get to removal spells so they can finally like kill the thing. And the last card he draws is the thing that is just like, it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah. And like pretty quickly in, you're looking at the board and JED has a bunch of awesome creatures and like 14 lands, and Ken has 3 lands and like a 1/1.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Ken, see you never. But then
Yeah.
he played out of his mind, and then next, like a few turns later, you're like, Jean Emmanuel, you're so screwed.
There's
no
way
chance.
There's
You
no way
can't
you're going to
possibly
win. I can't believe this. It was.
And then he plays out of his mind for a couple of turns, and then you're like, Ken, I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
And then he top decks something that's perfect. It was really good. I was audibly gasping on my couch before I went to work. It was crazy. Anyway, Pro Tour. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always awesome.
But the curse of the Pro Tour drafter continues.
It does. Sorry. Okay, so Michael, apologies for your because we're still going to follow him in the World Championship probably, right?
I think it depends, right? Like, I think it was Ken because it's like a player of the year race. So we're getting down to that.
No,
Like,
it's always the person who won the last one, right? Because Ken won Final Fantasy. And that's why we followed Matt Nass at Aetherdrift. Because he won... Wait, no. He won Aetherdrift. Who did we follow? We followed Javier in Aetherdrift. He had a terrible like deck, remember? He had like a gross garbage deck. Matt Nass we followed in Final Fantasy because he had won in Aetherdrift.
Right.
Then
Ken won Final Fantasy.
So we were watching him. And
I know, but like I feel like I don't know exactly how Player of the Year works, but if there's a
front runner for Player of the Year,
sometimes they do that, right? Where it's
instead,
like, I think we saw Seth Manfield do it once last year because he was
right. He was close, right? We thought he was going to win.
He wasn't the previous Pro Tour champion.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He was like, wait, was he not? Did he win a Pro Tour?
Maybe he was, and they were just talking about the Player of the Year race. Because I guess if you won a Pro Tour, it almost automatically puts you like in contention for Player.
I think it does, but like, I was just wondering for Worlds. Let's see, Pro Tour wins for Seth Manfield. I can't remember. Did he win one last year? Why am I being insane? He won Chicago, but that was not. Anyway, in 2024 he won the Pro Tour, but that wasn't before Worlds. Anyway,
I might be misremembering, anyways, but for some reason I remember there was a time when we didn't watch the previous champion because they were basically not in contention for this other thing.
That was more important.
Let's follow the drafter for that.
Anyway, yeah, I don't remember who we were following then. I was always kind of, I was assuming it was always the last champion.
At the very least, it usually is.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Worlds is going to be great. I'm excited for it. And we get a full new set for it. It's going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're actually going to have an Avatar Worlds, which previously I would have been like, I don't know, this is kind of annoying. But, well, two things. I've been watching Avatar. I'm almost finished with it. And so I'm actually like, I know things about the show. But after playing Spider-Man, fake Spider-Man set on Arena, I just want the actual flavor of the set to be really there. It's so weird. I'm never going to get over this. I'm never going to get over the fact that it's so weird that we had a Pro Tour where a set just came out, and it wasn't even like they couldn't show stuff. like there is an entire space that like they remodeled to look like a New York City street to be like Spider-Man-y, so you could take pictures with your friends. So it's like there was stuff there.
Right.
It just wasn't the Pro Tour. But it can't be because they can't say the word Spider-Man. Like that's impossible. They said Spider-Man 100% on coverage. So I don't even understand why we didn't. I don't know. Maybe they just thought that the set was terrible. Maybe that's what it was. They're like, they were playing it internally and they're like, well, we kind of threw this together. It is the best that we can do, but we can't have a Pro Tour of this set. We just can't do it because these cards are just not. It's just not.
Or they don't want to make the pros do pick 2 draft.
I mean, that's also true. I mean, oh, right. Didn't we talk about this? It's the headache of trying to figure out the table situation because you only have 4 people at the table.
4?
Right. Oh, right. We already figured this out. I forgot.
Yeah.
It was another drunken night a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love getting to watch whatever morsel of the Pro Tour I get to on the weekends, even when I'm working. And it's
this one was more fun than I thought it was going to be. So
yeah,
I was a little like down on it because it's like I don't play Modern, and I'm kind of over this format. I could fuck this format for draft. But I enjoyed the draft a lot. Actually, I think I enjoyed it even more than I usually do for Pro Tours because it's just like I played a lot of this format, and like I know what the cards do and stuff. Whereas sometimes I'm like, oh, I should watch it to learn, but then I don't really end up learning, and I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on.
You're just like confused, yeah.
Yeah. So this one was kind of neat because I was like, wow, I do understand a little bit why I'm losing at this format because I'm not making most of the decisions that these people make. But,
but some of them, well, it's just so hard. Just the person that we're following when you're drafting, like it's always going to be horrible, and I don't know why. It's just like the pressure of the cameras on you, and
I mean, in the JED match, you could see Ken's hands were like shaking when he was.
But his hands are always shaking when he's playing. Every time I've seen him, like when he was winning, his hands were shaking. I like. It could just be that's just what happens, but he still thinks clearly.
That's for sure, and it's not. It doesn't feel rushed. You know, sometimes when people are nervous, it feels like they're rushing, and he's definitely not rushing.
No, yeah. I will say it kind of has that feeling of like, you ever sit down to like, or you get invited to watch some sort of like event, like probably like a sports event that you're not super excited about. You're like, I don't really watch. For me, it would be like soccer. You play soccer, but like I don't really watch. I don't play. I don't know a lot. But like if I'm there and I'm watching it, I'll get into it. Like it'll be fun.
Totally.
Pro Tour is the same thing. Where it's like, I don't play these formats, I don't play Modern, but if I sit down and I'm starting to watch, I'm gonna pick somebody that I'm rooting for, and I'm gonna, even if it's not, I'm not usually rooting for the combo player, but as we're getting into this, I'm like, actually, this deck is kind of interesting. Michael. So, you can get into it. So if you're out there being like, well, I don't play Legacy or I don't play Pioneer or whatever, just like, it's still Magic and it's still fun. Like I got to learn a bunch of stuff, and it did make me excited to want to play that format, even though I'm not going to invest in it and all that stuff. But I went through the process of being like, this would be really cool. This looks like a lot of fun. And
but that's how I got into it in the first place, right? Like I was playing Standard or whatever. I thought Standard was cool, and then I'd watch some of these Twitch streams for some of these tournaments that are, Modern. That's when I started playing Modern for the first time. I was like, that actually looks a lot of fun. And Pioneer, I was like, Pioneer, whatever. And then I watched it, I'm like, that actually looks kind of cool.
It's actually kind of cool. So yeah, just a fun all around.
And this one was cool too because I got to see there was a surprise Ben Stark appearance in the constructed rounds.
Oh yeah.
I was like, Ben Stark? It's like 4. I think it was right after the draft, so he was 3-0. I was like,
yeah. There you go.
I get it.
Bye. We'll never see you again.
It's such a shame because I want to see him draft the second one. But he was playing Affinity. Like Affinity's back on the menu. It has some cool new tech and stuff. So there's some old Modern decks like rearing their ugly heads. Even like Belcher. It's like an ancient modern deck. Belcher's
Yeah.
been around forever with the idea of I'm gonna not play. And it used to be you have to be super all in on the combo because the ways to have lands that aren't lands were very limited, and so it was all this kind of like Moxie stuff, right? Or like Lotus Petal kind of
It's all like
things,
trinkety kind of stuff.
rituals,
Yeah.
basically.
But now you get actual
So you,
lands.
so you had to like have the perfect hand and pop off on turn one. So just knowing the deck, like evolving over time as we got lands that aren't lands, more to add to their arsenal.
Yeah.
It kind of almost makes sense to see it here now, where it's
It
just like,
makes
yeah, you still
perfect
have the
sense.
explosive, like you're dead combo potential, but now you can actually play a game of Magic too because you get to put lands in your deck
Yeah.
now.
But at the same time, it still has a feel of the ancient times, I'll call them, because Tamesh is just bouncing all your lands back to your hand anyway, so you might win with no lands on the battlefield.
Right. Yeah.
God. I love it. But anyway, that's enough of the Pro Tour. Let's talk about some of this new stuff coming up in 2026. That still sounds like a fake year. I don't know. It's one of those weird things where like the next year feels super fake until you get there and you're like, we've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2026.
come on. Duh. But anyway, we have some stuff to talk about. So we have the slate. Almost every single set has been spoiled. There's one we don't know about yet, but we will get to that in a minute. First up,
I would argue there's kind of two we don't know about.
well, yeah, but one of them is literally called unannounced, and the other one is we have the name, so at least we know that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so in January, something we already knew, but Lorwyn Eclipsed is coming out. This set was originally supposed to be coming out this year, but it got bumped. I think because of the Spider-Man thing. Because Spider-Man wasn't supposed to be a standard set. So they were supposed to have Avatar and then Lorwyn Eclipse, I think. That was what was
So it
supposed
only
to
got
happen.
bumped like one set, essentially.
Yeah. But it got bumped into a new year, which does mean that we get the Shocklands. Oh, sorry, the Shocklands are coming.
Yes.
That was the exciting thing.
I don't care what else is in the set. It has Blood Crypt.
Yes. So the rest of the Shockland cycle has been announced to be in Lorwyn Eclipsed, with some pretty cool art too, where it's like half of it is Lorwyn, half of it is like Shadowmoor. Or I think there's like double-faced ones where it's like you get to choose which side you want to show. Really cool stuff with that. Especially because I didn't play through Lorwyn and Shadowmoor the first time around.
Same. I missed it. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for this because I missed it and I know people loved it.
They were big fans. I was still in my phase of I didn't like hybrid mana and I didn't like planeswalkers very much. So, well, I don't think this set really had planeswalkers, but I wasn't. I was already like, ugh, hybrid mana.
Too
That's so
good for hybrid
stupid.
mana.
Yeah. I also wasn't playing a lot anyway, but I was like, oh, there's another set with hybrid shit. Oh, this sucks. Like that was my
I'm not a logical or guy. I'm a logical
Yeah.
and guy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so very much was didn't like it just doesn't feel like Magic to me. You know, that was those players, that was me. From the outside looking in, because I didn't play at all. Now I've
Me
grown
too,
up,
I think around that
and-
time. I don't think I disliked hybrid mana because that I played in Ravnica. And so
Yes.
I played it and I was like, it's kind of cool. I remember them like, whoa, they went crazy with this because it would be like hybrid, whereas Ravnica was always at most two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember Lorwyn is one of the blocks that I look back on as being like, I kind of wish I played in that one.
I agree.
Almost none of the other ones really are like that for me. Like Zendikar, maybe, I guess, comes closest, where I didn't play Zendikar, and I'm like, Zendikar would have been a cool one to experience.
Zendikar. I didn't play original Innistrad either. Which
Oh, yeah, same, actually. I just missed that
That's
one.
another one.
Yeah.
because I
That's
basically
probably
like,
the best one. Like, it's probably for me Lorwyn, then Innistrad.
Yeah, because I missed that one because my first year of college was during Scars of Mirrodin block, and so I had some friends on my floor who played a lot of pot smoking Magic players on my floor. We had a great time. They would go smoke, and then we'd come back and we'd just play like free for all. It was before Commander, so we would just play like 60 card, attack whoever you want. But they were all really high, and so I could win very easily because they would just forget all their triggers. It was great. But yeah, I basically, after that kind of chunk of time, I had to stop playing because it was consuming my life. Because, well, I mean, it's officially consumed my life now. So like, I'm pushing off the inevitable till much later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Innistrad was right after that, so I just missed it by like a hair.
Too bad.
I know. So it's like I had lived through Mirrodin once, and I lived through it again. I was like, ugh, what am I doing? It's too much Mirrodin.
Yeah. I think somewhere in high school, or maybe it just was high school, I was like too cool for it.
Yes.
And then I would kind of like occasionally look stuff up and be like, oh, that's interesting. But I wasn't playing. And then in like my fourth year of undergrad, I just randomly was like, that's stupid. I should just go to a draft. And I went to a draft, and it was fun. And I think that would have been around Return to Ravnica. So
Right. So that was right after Innistrad. That was literally
yeah, like I think I just missed it. And then
that's me with Tarkir, because I literally came back to Magic during Origins because I was like, oh, we should just buy a box, and it was Origins at the time. So
yeah,
and I just completely missed Tarkir.
but I barely really played Return to Ravnica. And then when I moved back to Ottawa after undergrad, that's when I started going to the actual shop, and that was cons.
Right. See, and I wasn't going to a shop consistently until I moved to Toronto, and that was during like, I think I did one Aether Revolt draft, and then it was Amonkhet, and it was like, I'm playing Magic now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyways, Lorwyn, one of the, like, Innistrad for sure, but Lorwyn was one of the ones I always look back on those cards, was like, that's one of the ones I missed by pretending I was too cool for Magic.
Yeah. I mean, my thing wasn't so much, well, yes, I was too cool, but also I just thought girls won't like me if I like this, so I can't like this.
I mean, that's really what I mean by saying too cool.
That was a big thing. Though I was still playing like HeroClix. I went to like HeroClix tournaments, if you know what that is.
Yeah, so it goes over so much better with the ladies.
I wouldn't tell anybody, but I was randomly decided that was okay. It was so secret that like not even my friends know that I'm doing this.
It's the first time hearing about it.
Exactly. I don't bring it up because I was number one horrible at that game, and it's one of those games where you need a rule book while you're playing to remember all the shit. And it's like, I don't like this.
I mean, I'm sure that argument can kind of be made about Magic, but
I guess we have judges. You just ask. It's just a walking rule book.
The most straightforward game.
Oh gosh.
But Arena does it all for me, so
it's true. But Jeff, there we did get a good amount of spoilers for Lorwyn Eclipsed during the Pro Tour. However, there's one card in particular I think we should talk about.
Is it Blood Crypt? Because I already talked about it, but I'm happy to talk more.
No, because there's not that much. We can't talk about Blood Crypt that much. It's not that exciting.
Oh, you underestimate me.
Okay, well, sorry. You brought up Blood Crypt, and I forgot I was going to say one thing. The reason I had brought up the Shocklands at that moment, and the fact that they got bumped and all that, was a big enough deal because they have now moved on to be in a different portion of the standard cycle. Because moving into 2020, rotation will change in 2027, and the Shocklands, these ones will be part of that new chunk. These 5, but not Edge of Eternities, because that will be a weird cutoff. Not saying that ones from Edge of Eternities are getting cut off in 2027, but before that, it would have been like all the Shocklands are together and they will rotate out together. And now that will not be the case. So you'll
fair
get
is fair. We had standard with only those Shocklands, and for a little
for
bit we'll have
for
standard
like
with
6
only
months,
these ones.
and now it is going to be like a year with. So you get Blood Crypt for like an extra year. There you go.
I know. They made the right choice.
But originally, they had not planned for that to be the case. They had planned for them to be all together. So I guess thank you, Spider-Man, for being a bigger set and pushing Lorwyn into the next year. But no, there's a lot of cool things that we could talk about. There's a bunch of flip creatures. There's some other stuff, but
Some of the art is wild. Out of this
well,
world good.
yeah, there's some really good stuff. I can't even get into it right now. But the one I want to talk about is the one that makes the most sense for the Pro Tour, because we've been waiting for Jean-Emmanuel Depras to give us his card that he won 2 years ago. This has been a while. I've been waiting for a while. I thought this was going to happen in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Or no. Yeah. This, wait, when was that? No. We had the one from Outlaws. That was Nathan. Tarkir. We were waiting in Tarkir. We thought that we were going to get this World Championship.
Oh yeah, because
Usually it comes like
Yuta's
that.
card has been out forever.
Yuta's card is not in standard anymore. So, right? So we like usually it's like when you win the when you win the World Championship, it's not that spring, it's the one following that. So there will be a new world champion by the time that your card comes out. But now technically, yes, that is true that there is another world champion, but we're moving into a new world champion. So by the time this card actually is released to the public, we will have
Open two new ones.
there will be two new ones, and we're waiting for Javier's card, which would normally come out like in 2026, in spring of 2026. So I don't know why we had to skip it. I don't know why Jean-Emmanuel Depras couldn't be in Tarkir. They just
Maybe
think
he was too picky. He was like, no,
Maybe
none of those cards are acceptable to me.
I mean, maybe. Because this card seems
That definitely
to be
seems like his personality, just very in your face and
totally. He's such a
difficult.
heel. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so rude and abrasive. If you've ever like heard him speak, you can definitely tell that. No, obviously JED is like a very soft-spoken kind.
exact opposite. Yeah.
Anyway, his card was spoiled. Jeff, do you have it in front of you? Could you read Formidable Speaker?
Formidable Speaker is 2 and a green for a creature elf druid who really does look a lot like JED, and it's a 2/4. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle 1 and untap another target permanent.
Yeah. So it does a really good impression of like a Fauna Shaman, but
Yeah.
but on ETB, and you don't have to discard a creature. You just could discard anything. As well as having this extra little ability where you get to untap stuff. This was pretty surprising to me, honestly. Like, this did not look like... I wasn't expecting this. Do you know what I mean?
You know, he's so adaptable that I had no idea what to expect. With Yuta, it's like, yeah, it's going to be a fairy. Like,
Yeah.
Dude
That,
is like literally legendary for piloting the fairies deck. He loves it. Makes sense. This, I was like, I know he won with like a Gruul kind of creature-y thing, but I've seen him play everything under the sun. Like,
yeah.
and pilot it well. So I was like, I almost want to see what card he picks just to kind of learn what he likes, because he just seems like he's good at everything.
Yeah.
This is a cool card. I love creature tutory effects. So
Court of Calling and...
yeah, your Court of Callings of the world, and I love Fauna Shaman. I just don't think it's good enough in today's standards. So it's
Well, because you have to wait a
see.
whole turn, right? This one,
Exactly.
don't gotta do that.
So it's nice to see this, because it's like, hey, I'm super on board with this kind of card. I know that this, like, to me, it reads a bit like Birthing Pod E, where it's like that's the idea is this can be used to like untap your birthing pod kind of thing and like
Oh,
chain things
sure.
together and get that engine going. But
I
I
didn't
just
really
want to
think about
use it
that.
in like a fair kind of sultai, I care about my graveyard. I have key pieces and like toolbox kind of deck. That's what I want to use this in. While other people just like win the game on the spot when they cast this, I'm going to generate a little bit of value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he specifically had just mentioned when he revealed it because I got to watch this live, which was really fun. That he was just saying like, "Hey, I really like Cube." He's like, "I wanted a green creature for Cube that would fit into creature combo stuff." Where it's like I really like those types of decks where you need like a couple different creatures to do something powerful, and I wanted to build a card that would fit into my cube. And I was like, that is awesome.
That's
That
the
is,
best reason for a world champion to select their card I've ever heard.
it's just like I just really need this thing that I've been missing from my cube.
So maybe he was like, nope, none of those go in my cube. Nope, none of those go in
Nope,
my
nope.
cube. Nope,
It's got
none
to
of
be
those go in
yeah,
my
yeah.
cube.
I
Duh.
need
Guess
this.
what? Give it a
I
weird
like that.
untappability and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sold.
perfect. I just think it's great. It's just also, I don't know, like do we think that this could see play in standard? It is green.
Could, yeah, I think so. I think so. There's a few things. Four is like a good toughness to have in
Yeah.
standard.
For 3 mana 2/4 already really annoying. Just
Yeah,
in general.
like there's a lot of ways to get three toughness things off the
Mm-hmm.
board or attack through them or whatever, and it's actually a little annoying to get four toughness off the board.
It's really annoying. The freaking Preacher of the Schism, it's just like the bane of my existence because it's a
I know,
fucking
yeah. It's I think
2/4.
that's literally the reason that card is good. 2/4
Yeah.
Death Touch. It
That
has all the other stuff, but the 2/4 Death Touch is what makes me
is the
groan every time. Like,
if it was a 2/3, so much worse.
yeah. Like,
And I would
if it didn't have
it would-
Death Touch, I'd be like, whatever. But
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the 2/4 Death Touch is what pisses me off. And then yeah, sure, it's gonna make some tokens that I
draw
don't
some
really
cards.
care
I
about.
don't care about all
Sometimes
that
draw cards.
stuff.
But
Yeah,
like,
like yes, that will be helpful, but the fact I can't get this off the board,
yeah,
like
really
easily.
stymies my
I
entire
have to
game plan.
spend a whole stupid turn dealing with this, which sucks. Like a whole card. Anyway,
So this, it doesn't have Death Touch, but the 2/4 body is battle tested as being
Yeah.
a grown test in standard. I think the ability is really strong. I don't know that this just slots into anything we have right now necessarily, but like we have stuff that cares about discarding, right? We have stuff that cares about stuff in your graveyard, like Delirium, that kind of stuff.
it's true.
And, we have a lot of really powerful creatures in the format. So that ability just on its own is really, really strong. The untap, to me, is not why I'm excited about the card, but could end up being the reason it gets played because it does something dumb with untapping.
Yeah. Is this an interesting
Something.
card? Can we go back and play like Gruul Delirium stuff with this? Where you're playing like FOMO on 2. This also discards gets you a creature. And it also untaps permanents for your second combat, which pseudo gives them vigilance. Is there something there?
Yeah, I don't know
Might
if
not
that's
be
where it's at
aggressive
its
enough.
best, but I think like part of the strength of this card is that it can do a lot of things for a lot of different decks. So
True. Toolboxy. It's great. Yeah, it works great in Cube.
right. I mean, that explanation makes a lot of sense because I'm thinking of it as a great toolbox card, and Cube is like naturally toolbox. So
Yeah. Just like grab a bunch of tools. But anyway, this card's just cool. It's also fun to see a different type of card because we've seen a couple like, 2-mana blue creatures recently.
yeah,
Or like a bunch of flyers, it's like, oh yeah, every world champion has flying. That's kind of like, we saw that with like PVDDR. We saw it with, a bunch of these cards, which are awesome cards, but it's like, oh yeah, it's like a small little,
they all want to
Creature
be
in the
like
air.
flash flyers that have some sort of incremental advantage.
yeah, which most of them have Actually, no. I was gonna say most of them ETBs, but that's not true.
Because PV wanted Flash, he just was denied.
Well, yeah, because PV's card, you can't give it Flash. It's so rude.
It was already so good.
It's so good. I loved that card. Elite Spellbinder was.
That was a great one. That he made a good choice with that one. I think Yuta did pretty well as well. Like his card was kind of all over the place.
Yuta's was really cool. Yeah. Nathan, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Nathan. That's I think your card was cool, but it didn't.
Really cool design, but
yeah. But the thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to is that Javier already has a card, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, and last time it was like a mono red aggro creature that was the de facto 1-drop for that entire lifespan, So I'm curious to see if he does something similar or if his new card is totally different.
What if he just runs it back where he's like
the same card, but give it one more ability?
No. I mean, like literally reprint it. Just bring it back to standard.
No, you got to power creep it. It's just this exact same card with like slightly different art, or the same art, but he has like a second weapon.
He's got two, because he's holding up his sword and the hilt of it.
Yeah, he has the one sword
trophy, right?
Right.
And so now he holds two.
He has two. That would be awesome because he has 2 trophies.
Oh, that would be so funny. I really feel bad for everyone who won the world championship before they brought back this amazing, like, that's the best thing about the Pro Tour.
If they were cool, they would have retroactively done it. They'd be like, hey,
they should. We're
going to give you a card at some point if you're interested.
Yeah, just go back. Shahar, you get 2. What do you want?
Yeah.
Like, there are a couple of players that it's really sad that it's like, sorry, man, we just like didn't do it. Like, well, actually, as we get closer into, maybe this could come up in some other sets as we get further into the episode. But anyway,
let's talk about the other sets that were announced.
Yeah, Lorna Eclipse
pseudo-announced or
in January. Excited for that, obviously. Also, there's like a big tournament. There's a Spotlight Series coming to Toronto in February. I probably can't play in it, but it is sealed. So
I know. I
pretty excited.
Already booked it on my family calendar. I was like,
because
blocked.
This is a big event. It's a Spotlight Series where if you get to it's a 2-day event, and if you make top 8, you are invited to the Pro Tour. Like, it's just an open.
And you get like 10 grand if you win or something. It's not. Yeah. It's not pennies.
Yeah, but like, okay, yeah, that's just money. But the Pro Tour.
The Pro Tour is like negative 10 grand. I'm gonna have to like fly to wherever it is.
Yeah, so then you don't win 10 grand. You just take. They just subsidize.
It's just
your
net
flight.
even. I know. That's why I want to win the whole thing, so I get to go to the Pro Tour and come out okay.
Yeah. Instead of going to the Pro Tour and scrubbing out day one.
Yeah. Right, that's what's gonna happen.
They decide to follow you in the draft, and then you get destroyed.
Winner of the Toronto Spotlight Series.
Yeah.
No, don't follow me.
Host of the Arena Regulars podcast.
Come in like a boxer.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Anyway, okay, so we have another set in March. So this one comes out January, like 23rd or something. And then the next set comes out in March. Obviously, that's the cadence of things, but buddy, just strap in because we got more of this coming. It is officially an unannounced Universes Beyond title.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We will get more information on October 10th, so that's only like a week away. So we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. But everyone has big speculations or guesses, and there's only one guess. Do you know what the guess is, Jeff?
Well, you wrote it in the show notes.
I did write it in the show notes.
But I didn't before reading the show notes.
Okay.
I don't know why this is the prevailing guess.
The guess. Okay. Right now, people are guessing it's going to be Ninja Turtles. I think one of the big reasons is that the 10th is like some sort of Nickelodeon something. So they're going to announce it on a Nickelodeon. It's going to be tied into some sort of event with Nickelodeon. And They've already talked about being in big talks with Nickelodeon for something else. We've already had a SpongeBob Secret Lair. I don't think they're going to give us a SpongeBob set. I think that's a little too far, too fast.
That's a 2027 thing.
Yeah. Obviously, Nickelodeon's also involved with like Avatar, so what's another Nickelodeon thing that they could do? Everyone keeps pointing at Ninja Turtles because we've already had a Ninja Turtle or a couple turtle type of ninja things in Magic already that they've kind of like alluded to. Yeah. So like maybe that, I mean, Neon Dynasty was a long time ago, so I don't think that this was in the works at that point, but maybe they're talking about it. Or maybe they just thought it would be funny to have a Ninja Turtle in that set, but anyway.
It would work. They could do Ninja Turtle. And like Ninja Turtles originally, like the comic, was super, super dark. So it kind of has a bit of that dark, like griminess to it. It still has that kids show aesthetic, but it definitely could fit into a Magic set super well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they can give us a food token that's a piece of pizza, like with the cheese, there you go, coming down, like Ninja Turtles probably has one of the like best depictions of like cheese or pepperoni pizza in all of comics or cartoons. Second to like the Goofy movie also does an amazing job of like when you pick up the pizza, it's like cheese everywhere and it's sloppy and you're like, trying to put it in your mouth while it's like falling apart.
Well, because they live in New York, right? So.
Yeah, so you got to get that New York hot slice of pie up there. But anyway, that tends to be the thing. That's literally all the information we have on it. I'm not going to.
Do you know what the community is so often right about these kinds of things?
Really
right? It's like
I don't know if somebody like.
The big secret is that it's Emrakul. They say that like 3 seconds after the thing. Like, here's my evidence. Like, okay. And then months later, like, it was Emrakul.
And you're like, oh no. And everybody's just been talking as if that's the thing that's happening. So that's basically where we are. We are right now in the space of Emrakul.
I've been through this enough times that I'm just going to assume it's Ninja Turtles now because they're always right.
Yeah, you just consider the internet as far as like the hive mind of all the Magic players as like Gemini for you, Jeff. It's
I just assume it's 100% correct.
Yeah, it's right.
I don't challenge anything.
I just have no reason to doubt them. You know what I mean? Like, why would I? Okay, and then if they're wrong,
and if it comes around and it's not Ninja Turtles, I'll be like,
yeah, okay, they were wrong for once. That's crazy. That's so weird. Anyway. Ninja Turtles coming in March. A month later, we get a new set. So I don't know if this Ninja Turtles thing is going to be a Spider-Man thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, is this another Spider-Man thing where it's like, this is a smaller set. You'll get... I don't know.
It's another pick 2 set.
Okay, sorry. You just brought something up that I need to vent about. This is about Lorwyn Eclipsed.
I saw it. I know what you're going to vent about. I saw the draft pack.
Yeah, so there is a product called the Draft Pack, or Draft Night. It's called Draft Night. And it comes with 12 booster packs and a collector booster pack and some lands and stuff. But
that's not enough to draft.
Well, it is enough to draft if you're playing 4-player pick 2.
Boo.
Yeah. So it does seem like they're going to push this further than just Spider-Man. We all kind of assumed this, I think. But having a product like this, like the product, honestly, is not bad. I don't think it's a terrible product. Because before this, it was just buy a booster box. And now it's like, well, you could just get this thing. And the fact that there's a collector pack, so the winner gets it, and I think that's all cool and cute.
It makes sense too, because like it's tough to get 8 people together, just locally with your friends.
It's super hard.
4 is manageable.
Yeah, and the other thing is like my gripes with Pick 2 Draft. We're going to talk about this more next week, but my gripes with it primarily just revolve around Arena, I think. If I was playing in person, Headology Magic has talked about this on her stream a lot. If, like, Pick 2 Draft with 4 players seems great for stores and for in-person paper Magic, because you also get to hate draft against your other players that you're going to play against, because you know you're playing against them because you're in a pod with them. But the fact, like, so it adds a layer of complexity, which is kind of missing.
I do wonder how it works with an odd number, though. Like, are you going to do pick 2 draft with 5?
You just don't. Well, yeah, I just don't know. I mean, that would kind of suck. Odd numbers. I hate odd numbers. Everybody's got a couple up, man. You can't just be like a single person.
That should be the LGS rule. You must bring a friend.
Yeah. As soon as they walk in the door, they blow a whistle. Get out. Find a friend. Come back in.
Or you need to like sign up as an individual in advance, and they let you know if you're in or not.
Yeah. Or you just like find. It's like we have couples and then we have individuals. I guess, okay, I could just say like partners. We don't have to say couples. Because
just pairs, 2 people.
Yeah. My partner does not play Magic and is not interested in playing. So I would not have a partner. I would be a single in this situation. Unless Jeff will have me. Will you be my partner at the LGS?
I'm going to see what options I have, but I'll let you know.
All right. Fine. That's okay. Let's move on to the next one. April. We got a new set. We're coming back to another one. We've been there before. We've been doing this podcast long enough that we have covered the original time that we went to this plane, and now we're returning to it. That's crazy.
Kind of cool. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I like that they also brought this set around the same time as the other one, because that one came out in the spring. So we are going back to Strixhaven in the set called Secrets of Strixhaven, which we did know was happening. I just don't think I knew officially when it was happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, Strixhaven, this is going to be great. I actually look back on Strixhaven like with fairly fond eyes. I think I even said that was one of my favorite sets of that year.
Yeah, I liked it. I just think the power level wasn't quite there on it. So it's one of those sets that like
it's the marquee set for the power level wasn't there, but the complexity was in a weird way.
Yeah, like those cards were complicated, and at the end of the day, not that good.
They were all the deans super complicated, all sucked. Like it was like,
yeah.
It was really difficult.
You'd read the card like 5 times and then be like, why would I play this?
Yeah. And also, like in my mind, that set is like, hey, what if the best draft card was a mythic colorless card?
And like a lot of the best cards were all the colorless learn cards or whatever.
Yeah, so you're just like, oh, interesting. Okay, so play these and then figure it out. And then it ended up being kind of like a teamer soup was a bit of the best thing to do.
Which, like, when you have defined archetypes like that, I think is a fail.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, it doesn't help that you gave us like the literal worst rare dual lands.
They were horrible.
Magic's history.
So do you think
you literally just don't play them? You just never play them.
So the if you don't remember, the rare duels from Strixhaven were the Snarls, which are considered I don't even know if they had they have a name. They were finishing off a cycle.
Right, there was another cycle, but were they
Shadows
called something?
Show Me lands. I think some people called Show Me.
Oh yeah,
lands.
they were called Show Me lands. I think. Yeah, that sounds.
Because you have to like play them tapped unless you could show a basic in your hand. Was it literally a basic or no? It was a card that. Did it have to be a basic?
I think it had to be a basic. Oh, hold on, let me pull this up.
It had to be the basic type, right? But it didn't have to be a literal basic. It could be like a shock.
Yeah.
Right?
Hold on.
So it's kind of like, because like check lands care if you have a basic land type on the battlefield already of a certain thing. It's kind of like our Verges right now, which only tap for certain colors if we have that.
Yeah, so according to MTG Wiki, they are called reveal lands.
Oh, reveal lands. I see.
And you're right. It just has to be like for Shine Shadow Snarl, that's to be a Plains or Swamp card.
Right. But it doesn't have to be a basic. But it felt like it at the time because we didn't have
We didn't have shocks and stuff, but
We didn't have
also like,
surveils. We didn't. Yeah.
but also you get into this weird thing where it's like the timing of how you have to play things doesn't
Hmm.
line up the way you want it to because you have to hold the other card in your hand to play this one. Um, they're just awful. They're just
Yeah. Well, because if you have a
really
shock
bad.
land in your hand, you would like to play it tapped on turn one. If you don't have a turn one play,
Right.
obviously you would still do that. But then like this kind of forces you to
Or you just
then,
play this tapped and then like shock your. So it basically means you're
but then you
taking
have
two.
to shock yourself. That's
Yeah.
like forcing you to shock yourself.
Whereas the way the other lands work, it checks that this is not that this is in your hand, but it's on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So
And
it
so
works much better with the shock
it's
lands because
so
you're just
much
like
better because then you can
play
just
your
like
shock and then the other one.
just
Now you're
is
good.
yes.
You don't
As
have to
soon
like
as you,
hold a shock land in your hand for all your snarls to come into play on tapped.
fucking snarls are horrible.
And they
They're
all
really
these things
bad.
always rip off the top tapped. And you're when you know
Yes.
when you're like, I need a land, I just really need one more land to play my card. You never want this one
Yeah.
because it fucking comes into play tapped.
Always, always. So that's one of those things I had to start doing on stream, which is literally like all I need is a land. All I need is an untapped land. All I need is an untapped land, and then I
Yeah.
can do this. If I get an untapped
And
land,
a snarl will literally never be that in that
yeah.
situation.
Well, if you draw a snarl, that's what your face is going to do because you're going to be pissed that you got this
Yeah,
fucking thing.
that's
and
why
you-
it's called that. You're just like,
Yeah. Exactly. That's what happens.
So
Anyway,
hopefully, I hope they compensate by giving us amazing lands in this one. Just like
I
fetches.
I disagree. I hope they give us something worse than snarls. I hope they give us those lands that when you tap them, they get a stun counter on them. Like that's what I hope they give us.
Or it's like
Like
you need to reveal a plains and a swamp. From,
or
it
like
cannot be the same card.
or it's going to be like this comes into play tapped unless you reveal a lesson card from your hand or something. It's just like, oh god, this is horrendous.
The hell would a lesson card be doing?
What is this? Oh, yeah, why would I be playing this card? Anyway, I'm excited to see this set just like come
Original
out.
Duels, calling it Secrets of Strixhaven.
Yeah, OG duels.
They're like, we're so sorry for last time.
Yeah. Honestly,
There's the
we
OG
have
duels only in the colors of the schools, right?
the schools, the enemy colors. Yeah, or maybe are they going to show us that there's more schools now? Could be. Could be. Who knows?
I think I read a little bit about this, and we talked about this whenever ago that like there's still so much room to explore in Strixhaven because Arcavios was kind of a cool plane in and of itself. The blurb I read about this reads like this is a it's talking about students exploring Arcavios, so it's not necessarily
Right.
at Strixhaven. So it reads like a field trip. Like this set is like a field trip set where these students are going to these crazy dangerous
Different places. Yeah. Well, they are
places in
looking for the secrets of Strixhaven. Maybe
Yeah.
how it was founded, some things they're learning, some, I don't know. There's generational trauma involved.
And
I
to
will
me,
say-
that's a way to get out of the guild problem of like
Hmm.
we have to have these 5 guilds or whatever
yeah.
because they'll have some of that.
Hmm.
Like some of the dual color cards will be the students who associate
Are doing
with
stuff,
these
yeah.
schools. But when you're going out into Arcavios, there's no reason for them to care specifically about those color pairs now. And so they
Yeah.
can just kind of do a normal set where maybe there's like 2 of the gold cards for this, like for the standard
The
enemy colors, and
yeah.
maybe there's only 1 for the ally.
The allied ones. That could be interesting. I would be down for some color play here. But the biggest thing, like you were just talking about it, but there is going to be a novel that comes out with this set, which it has been a very long time since we've had a novel come out with a Magic set.
They are always 10 out of 10 would read again.
Okay, so the one thing I'm going to say about this novel is that let's see, the last one we technically had, I think we had one. So there was one for Throne of Eldraine, if you can remember that far back. So Throne of Eldraine had one that
You
was.
mean Wilds of Eldraine?
No. Original Eldraine.
Oh, that's a long
Yeah.
time ago.
I think there was also a book that was supposed to be for Theros Beyond Death. I don't actually know if that came out or not, but it was supposed to do that. And then they were going to do books throughout everything, but because the one that came out for War of the Spark was so bad, it really fucked up everything else. And I read the War of the Spark one; it's horrendous. But I will say, looking at this one, it's got a couple things going for it in the sense that they did specifically say this is a young adult novel. So if anything happens, they can just be, well, it's not for your age group. So we're fine. We can just do that. But the second thing is that the author is Shannon Maguire, who we have read her stories before, which were pretty good, I will say.
Okay, those are the ones we liked.
She wrote Murders at Karlov Manor, which the only part of Murders that I didn't like is the fact that the fucking debut stream ruined the reveal of the actual murder on stream. That was the biggest part that sucked. But the rest of the story was good. I liked the rest of it. It was enjoyable to read.
Murders was good. Yeah.
And the other one that she wrote was Phyrexia All Will Be One, which is another one that we enjoyed. Which is
the other one we liked.
Yeah, which is kind of like everyone's going, like burying deep into the core, trying to get to the bottom, and then everything kind of fucking sucks after that. But that one was pretty cool. So I'm happy with the choice of author, and so I have hope that this one's going to be something. Am I going to read it? Am I going to buy it? I don't know. But the fact that we have these again, I know there's a lot of people that are really into these books, and I think picking them, one of our biggest kind of gripes when we do like the Drunken Vorthos stuff, or when we were doing those, was like, well, they did the best that they could with the limited amount of space that they had. You know, that's a constant
Totally, yeah.
thing.
Because it's like they have to include all the characters, and there are so many characters, and then they
only
allowed
have
like 5 super short stories or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like most of the time it feels like it just isn't really scratching the itch that they're hoping for. So if this does well with the Vorthos community, it would be nice to just see books instead. And then obviously, I'm sure that if this does well, then Hasbro and Watson will be like, well, we can make money printing more paper. Let's just print more paper. Anyway, I'm actually happy for this part. I like that. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I probably won't ever read this, but I'm glad because I remember reading like the Odyssey books when I was a young adult, I suppose, and being like, this is cool additional context for a lot of these cards that all I get at that time is like the card, and a lot of these cards don't even have flavor text because their text box is too long or whatever. So you can read. Sometimes you could read other cards to get flavor text about the main character.
Yeah,
but that was it. And so the book was like, oh, this is who the main character was.
This is Kamal, and these were these.
Yeah, Kamal really was the one that jumps out to me because Kamal of the Pits or whatever. Those were a little darker, I think. I don't know if they were targeted at young adults.
Yeah, but classically,
like pit fighting.
Yeah, but classically, also Kamal, a red creature, turns into a green creature, and has the Mirari on his fucking hilt. Doesn't he have the Mirari on his sword? Like this is cool ass shit. That's like this is awesome. That's what I remember thinking. I remember reading the Betrayers of Kamigawa novel because I had bought a fat pack and I got that book. Now to be fair, I did not read the first one, so the second one was confusing. But the main character could move through shadows, which I thought was cool as fuck. I was like, he just like goes into a dark part of the room and then just goes into another shadow somewhere else, wherever there's shadows. It was so cool. And anyway, so I really enjoyed that. I liked that book, even though it wasn't really part of it. So I remember going to Barnes and Noble and like looking for them and wanting them. So
hopefully this does well. They make more, and some of the young adults out there who are getting into Magic can really appreciate them.
Yeah. Also, you know, doubling down on Magic sets that are Magic themed, to be like, we do want an actual book to go along with this, so that we don't have to like, oh, we'll kind of do a side story. It's like, no, you only get a couple of these now. So,
and to be fair, maybe that makes it easier, right? If they have to do a book, and they're doing 6 sets a year, and they're all Magic, like this way, they maybe have to do 2 books a year. You know?
Yeah, that's true. And they get to kind of pick and choose, and they'll be like, oh, some books and who even knows if the book is even going to be like the main storyline, right? This book could just be like, this is just some cool stories about Strixhaven. Doesn't even have anything to do with everything else that's going on.
Right.
Which I'm also kind of down for,
yeah, I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah. Anyway, totally fine as a person who most likely will not be reading this, but I have opinions about it. Anyway, moving on. In June, we're getting Magic the Gathering Marvel Superheroes. And I think the $1 million question is, are we going to get them on Arena?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like gotta be leaning towards no.
I'm very much leaning towards no. I think that that's not going to be the case.
Unless they think they can sort out whatever legal issues they had with Spider. Like maybe it was Spider-Man was kind of last minute.
Well, it's also
Something
Spider-Man
changed.
Is like there's a Sony weird thing with Spider-Man 2, right?
Right.
Because even Marvel fights with Sony over Spider-Man for their movies. So like so maybe that's part of it, and it's not actually Marvel that's fighting them. And as we've thought this whole time, it was Marvel Snap, but maybe it was some Sony thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Marvel Snap just makes the most sense as the answer because
it's a card game.
Can release the physical product, but not the digital one. And that just like Marvel Snap doesn't consider physical card games to be a competitor, but digital card games are.
They do, yeah.
Like, why would Sony? If it was Sony, I feel like they'd try to kibosh all of it.
That's true. You're right. I didn't really think that through. Yeah, we were right before. Yeah. Forget everything I said.
We're always right the first time.
Yeah. Why would we never be wrong? But anyway, I just want to point out that in no place in this little chunk where we're talking about Marvel superheroes or whatever, does it say that it's coming out on Arena. It just specifically leaves that
avoids
out.
That.
Yeah. So my biggest thing with this is like, it's just more Marvel stuff, right? We'll see what happens when we get there. It's going to be a kind of mosh pit of that. So I guess it's going to be Fleam set, like Fleam based for us, right? It's our Fleam set.
Yeah. It's also like the one, like again, the next set comes out 1 month before. So is this a big set or is it another small, like kind of pretend set? Like,
well, it is 2 months later because like Strixhaven comes out in April. So like at least this comes out.
Oh, okay, right. It's every 2 months. Okay, yeah. Ninja Turtles was March.
Ninja Turtles is the weird one where it's like in March.
Oh, okay, so no, we are on the like 6-week schedule here.
So I really do think that the quote unquote Ninja Turtles set is possibly the small one.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
because I think we'll have Marvel superheroes, and then maybe the following year we'll have like Marvel super villains or something. Anyway, I don't really know. I don't have a ton to say about that, but the next set is Magic the Gathering The Hobbit coming out in August. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't think we were going to do another Middle-earth type of thing. Talking about sets that we have talked about on the podcast, and we've been here since the returns to it.
The first time we visited this realm.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, we didn't really cover it super well the first time, just because it wasn't standard legal. So, like, It was on. It got added to Arena, but not in the same way.
Right. It was on Arena, but not. It was sort of like a you can draft it, but you can't really use it in any of the formats we play.
That we played. Yeah. So it was kind of like, yeah, I played it, I drafted it, but it didn't really
Now,
feel like
at
a
that
real
time
deck
there was no
format.
timeless, so it was like you can use it in historic.
Yeah, it really just felt like it was kind of not anywhere.
Yeah.
But now the cards, well, the cards are going to be standard legal, so they're
Gonna be not as good as the ones that were.
yes, that is true. But is The Hobbit as good as Lord of the Rings?
Oh, well, the thing that blows my mind is they think they can cover all this material in one set. This is a 3-set book, man.
I get the joke because of the movies, like, but we know that we already had a set that fit 3 books into one set. So we take Lord of the Rings, squish it into one set, and we take The Hobbit and pull it
Expand
into
it
3
into
sets.
3 sets. Exactly right.
How many more Tom Bombadil cards are we gonna get? Just kidding.
Oof.
He's not in The Hobbit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but we can shoehorn him in there. Like we can, reverse engineer how he was really helping in the background.
Yeah. But anyway, part of this is that I specifically want to show that it does say Magic the Gathering Hobbit releases worldwide on tabletop and MTG Arena in August, and that is why I thought a little bit longer about the Marvel Superheroes one, because it doesn't say that. Why would they write that?
Too?
Why would they write that to make it seem like oh, this one's for sure coming to Arena? It's like, well, yeah, aren't they all? They should.
I don't know why you need to say that.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna call it now. Smog or Smaug? How do you say his name?
I always said Smog.
Smog. He's busted.
You think
Watch.
Smog's gonna be busted?
Yeah.
I think Bilbo's gonna be busted.
Nah, Bilbo's gonna be some like dorky creature that like
It's gonna be way better than you think. It's just,
Maybe.
it's gonna like enter, make a treasure, and it's gonna do one of those like toolboxy things, or just like those bread and butter pieces that you're like, man. But the deck hinges on Bilbo, that kind of thing.
the thing is I was like, it's gonna be some dorky like 1/1 that can't be blocked and makes it and like loots when it hits, and then I started realizing I'm just describing Norman Osborn, which is a card that I love.
Yeah,
and
all
then
the
it like
stuff
transforms into something.
an invisible creature because it's wearing the ring or whatever. I mean, like the ring tempts you will probably come back, right? And
I was okay with that mechanic. I have nothing against that mechanic.
the thing is, the more times we have the ring tempts you, and it tempts you in the exact same way as the last time, the easier it will be to remember what it does.
Right.
So, like, please don't give us a different one. Just do the same one, so it's easy
They're
to
gonna
remember.
change it.
Don't change it. Don't be like the ring tempts you into an unexpected journey or whatever. Like, fuck you. Don't do that. Like, please, just make it easy.
The ring seduces you.
Yeah. It is so funny because what I know about The Hobbit is so small because I've tried to read the book a couple times. If you know anything about me in the podcast, you know that I don't really like reading that much, and I don't do it. So like when I was a kid, I tried to read this book, and I just get bored or like whatever.
But if you read The Lord of the Rings,
no,
like The Lord of the Rings is a way tougher read than The Hobbit in terms of.
I'm not saying that The Hobbit is hard to read, because sometimes that is the reason I stopped reading books. It's more so like I just will read a bit and then put it down, and then I just never pick it back up again. And then when you pick it up like 6 months later, you're like, I have no idea what's going on. I guess I have to start over, and then you just never read the book. That's more of the cadence of what it is.
To be clear, that's kind of what I mean by tougher, like harder to get through kind of thing. I'm not talking about like the vocabulary or anything. I'm just saying like
No, I'm talking about the vocabulary. Like there are books that are like what is this word? And like I don't love that part of fantasy books specifically because they make up a bunch of words, and so it's like.
But then they also use some like very obscure English words. This is sometimes you're like, is this a real word or is this a made up?
Did
word?
you make this up? And anyway, so I've never read the book, but I have played most of the video game, And so all of the story beats I know from the video game because I played that a couple times, which I don't know if I actually ever officially beat that game, but I know almost all the story beats just from that. Because I didn't watch the movies, or I watched the first one and was like, I'm not going to watch the rest of these. I'm uninterested in 2 more. No. And I just said, no, I'm not watching these.
Yeah. Regrettably, I have seen all of them. I actually kind of liked the first one, but I always liked the first one, like the origin story.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I love the beginning. The beginnings of lots of things. This is one of the reasons why I don't finish stuff. I love the beginning. Love the beginning of the book. Don't finish reading the book. Right? I love the beginning.
Middle's so whatever, and then the end, I'm just there because like I'm committed.
I have to.
I need to know.
Yeah, but the beginning it's all about the beginning. That's why I will say, if I'm going to sit down and watch Lord of the Rings, I want to watch the Fellowship of the Ring.
Same.
And like,
also my favorite one.
It's the best. It's so good. People be like, oh, it's so boring. It just moves so slow at the beginning. I'm like, I love all that stuff. The little things with the birthday and like Gandalf coming and all that stuff. They're hiding and they're in the inn. I love all that. Like bring the group together, find your comrades. Like that's what I like. The doom and gloom, and it's just, it can get like, really rough.
Don't get me wrong. The 40-minute action scenes in the Lord of the Rings movies, the ones in The Hobbit are not good, but the ones in the Lord of the Rings, they're good.
Yeah.
And epic and all that, but it's like I could have done with like those being much shorter and the like, story progression actually being more central.
It's actually kind of interesting because as far as like the Two Towers goes, my favorite part of the Two Towers is like the Battle of Helm's Deep, which is like obviously that's the movie. But like when I watch the movie, that's kind of all I want to watch. Is like, let's watch the Battle of Helm's Deep. Which is funny because that's like all action. Basically, there's like nothing really else going on as far as story stuff, but you get to see.
But that's why I like the first movie better, because I'm not just like waiting for some action scene.
It's true.
Like, you actually that's the only part I care about.
I remember watching Lord of the Rings in theaters for the first time. There was like a single screen movie theater, or actually, sorry, it had 2 screens in my like neighborhood, but it was very small. And I remember my dad being like, we're going to go watch Lord of the Rings. You should come. You're going to like it. And I was like, whatever, 9 or 10. And I was like, Lord of the Rings. And I remember thinking it was Lord of the Flies. And I was like, I've seen the cover of that book. It looks dumb. I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
I hear you read that in school.
Which, to be fair, if it was Lord of the Flies, I also probably would have thought it was pretty cool because that's also a crazy story. But
it's wild.
It's wild. Anyway, but I remember sitting with my parents for a while, and then I got up and I moved closer to the screen by myself in my own row and was watching like behind like one of the chairs or whatever. And I was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like going into the Mines of Moria, I was like, holy shit, this is so awesome. And like this dingy old movie, like this movie theater had like popcorn just like sprayed across the floor in the back, like the last row was just trashed with a bunch of garbage and stuff. But I was just like, this is awesome. And I will never forget how amazing that felt. And I was like, this is the coolest movie ever. And then of course I couldn't sleep that night because the ring rates were going to get me. But I was like, this is sick.
I think people don't necessarily appreciate how like we just didn't really have stuff like that before. Like now you have tons of fantasy content on the big screens. You know, just been Game of Thrones. There's tons of fantasy movies. This was like the
famously Game of Thrones in the big screens. Yes,
yes. Everyone watched them on their big screen TVs.
Yeah. There you go.
But like, you know, like it's become just normal that fantasy movies are
just
a thing.
They're mainstream,
And before this, like they existed, but they weren't done like this well in this immersive a way necessarily.
Yeah. Have you watched like the other Lord of the Rings movie or the Hobbit? Sorry, it was the Hobbit movie.
No,
that was like it's like a cartoon from the 70s or whatever, and it's like really weird and creepy because half of it was like rotoscoped and stuff. So like it's just a really bizarre looking thing. I remember seeing it on TV a couple times. I'm like, this is really scary. Was it The
Yeah.
Hobbit or was it actually full on Lord of the Rings? I can't remember, but it looks cool but weird. I think it is Lord of the Rings actually.
But it's
But
sort of like how Spider-Man was like the renaissance of comic books, where it's like, whoa, you can do this on the big screen now, and it could be super cool.
and people
And like
will
people who are
like it.
not nerds will like it. Lord of the Rings was kind of like that for fantasy.
Yeah. Or it's
Yeah.
almost like more so like it's not so much that like people that aren't nerds will like it, but realize like, oh, this is for kind of everyone, or that the quote unquote nerd community were just people that could appreciate things that were in that world, but like had low production values and could kind of use their imagination to bridge the gap between like the issues that everybody else saw. But once we got to a point where you could cover up all those things, we really just showed that everyone's kind of a nerd. Like
Yeah.
people just like this stuff. It's cool, especially with like the Marvel stuff now, where it's like all there's so many jocks and like
Yeah, now it's normal to like Iron Man.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Of course, like nowadays, like, do people even remember Iron Man? He died so long ago. Like,
or whatever the cool character is now.
yeah, I don't know. I'm
Or,
just
I don't
assuming
know.
that's the case. Is like, is it still Spider-Man? Spider-Man's just always cool.
Yeah, Spider-Man's pretty cool.
Yeah. But anyway, The Hobbit. This is what I'm of the Universes Beyond sets coming out next year. I think this is the one I'm most excited for. And
Well, you can't
will
say
be-
that until October 10th.
That's true, because on October 10th we know for sure what the unannounced one will be. But if it's Ninja Turtles, I don't care as much. This will also feel the most magic-y, quote unquote, and people will
Yeah, I think
be
that
happy
was
with
the
that.
success of the Middle Earth one. Was just it's so close to magic already.
That is like all they need to do is make sure that the elves don't scry a bunch, and then we're fine.
Yeah.
Just like fix that, and then we're good to go. That was a weird mechanic.
Yeah.
But as we keep trudging along, we have two more sets in October, the 26th. Sorry, in October 2026. Not the 26th.
I was like,
of
whoa,
October.
you have the date.
I do not have the date. I was just reading the year and read it wrong. We have a magic set that's pretty weird. We alluded to this earlier. It's called Reality Fracture. And that's all we know. I mean, sorry. We know a little bit more. We know that it's supposed to be it's wrapping up a bunch of magic stories into this thing, which honestly I think that when they wrap up the story and it's coming into fall, into winter, that's a much better schedule than spring into summer. And the fact that they've been doing the finale in spring is such a school year thing. It's so strange to me that it lasted this long.
Yeah. Lasted so long. Yeah.
It makes so much more sense in fall to me. But anyway, or winter. But this is kind of going to be the end of it, which I don't know if that's like something with Valgavoth, something with Nicol Bolas. I'm a little off of it right now, but those are kind of what they've been leading to. Maybe finally Emrakul comes out of the moon. Who knows? But as far as like the look of Reality Fracture, just looking at the actual, like, I don't know, the way that the set looks, it gives Duskmorn vibes to me.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, there's definitely been some hints that Valgavoth is more than just
Has
a
some
house.
plans, yes, trying to do some stuff. So whether this changes the omen paths or something, they said that it's supposed to be on the space of being as groundbreaking as Future Sight and Planar Chaos and Time Spiral. Like,
So it's going to be really weird.
super weird. Like, is this when we get our, like, are we getting another color of magic? Like, is that, people have talked about it for a really long time. Are we getting purple? Is it coming? Is it going to happen?
No way. There's just no reason. Why would they do that?
They can fit more Universes Beyond sets into that extra color.
No, of course, of course.
It would completely destroy the game, and
It would make no sense.
it would make no sense, and it would be horrible. Which I already thought they had done that with colorless mana at one point when that happened. I was like, don't you do it.
Do you know how the pick 2 and pick 3 math works out with an extra color? It's not clean. It's not the nice, clean 10-5 thing, 10-10-5 thing we got going on here.
Yeah,
It changes everything.
it does change.
You want to do a guild set? You can't. There's
Yeah.
too many guilds.
Ravnica over. Well, in Ravnica sets, they just don't have purple.
Yeah, they haven't met that color of mana yet until we go back to Ravnica and it's Ravnica meets purple.
That's true. That's true. They're like, we need to do something else. We've
That's
been to
actually the
Ravnica
reason
so many
to do it.
times.
They can just redo everything they've done where
With
it's
the new
it's
color.
purple going to that plane.
Yeah. The Eldrazi turn purple instead of colorless, which they already have their own color. What are we even adding a new one? But anyway, enough about that. That was really just like nonsense. But a set where if I could go into Future Sight as an adult where I actually understood what they were doing with the set, because originally when I was like, I was still in the phase of Magic where I was just like buying packs randomly, seeing what was going on kind of thing. And then I saw that frame and I hated it.
I hated it too, yeah.
I hated it so much. And I loved the time spiral thing where you got one like old border card that was cool. And around that they had Cold Snap, which I thought was like a really cool thing coming back from like, looking at our past. So, but I do think that if I was more involved with Magic and really understood the color pie in a good, like a strong way, and went into playing that year or that set, I would have liked it a lot more. And knowing that, these are supposed to be cards that are coming from the future. I didn't really understand that whole concept until years later.
I didn't get that at all, yeah.
Yeah. Where I was like,
No, I wasn't really
these were good.
engaged with it. I was just kind of like, I saw
That's
pictures
what I mean.
online and I'm like, that looks dumb.
But if I saw a picture of Tarmogoyf or something and was like, this is going to be reprinted at some point because it is a card from the future, literally.
Right.
That is cool. Like, I like that. So if we have, whatever, Reality Fracture is a similar type of thing. Obviously they just said like it's supposed to be as groundbreaking as those, which is probably a lie. But
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. And then rounding out our final set for the year is Magic the Gathering Star Trek in November. Star Trek. I don't know, Jeff. Are you a fan?
I've seen a couple of the movies. Some of them I thought were okay. And by movies, before people go crazy, I'm talking about like the more modern
Recent ones, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like Zachary
like, Chris
Quinto
Pine.
ones. Yeah. Same. I've watched the first movie. The J.J. Abrams did those.
Yeah,
I think.
I think so.
I remember.
I think I saw the first 2 of those ones.
Yeah.
And was like, all right. Like,
There's a lot of lens flares. It was cool.
I will say, Edge of Eternities makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. If we do like now we have like a Star Trek thing, it doesn't feel as bizarre.
Yeah, they're like front loading the whole spaceship thing for us, and then
Exactly.
now it's not going to feel as weird. But
Probably more station stuff with this. Hopefully they fix it this time.
I mean, come on, Warp has to be in this one too, right?
Well, yeah, but that was a great mechanic. Like
Warp is a great mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warp should be evergreen. They should just rename it.
Yeah. We'll get more landers. We're gonna get like red shirts and all that stuff. But
Maybe it's just a reskin of Edge of Eternities.
that would be so bizarre.
Edge of
like
Eternities 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo. Yeah, your Spock is just Sir Vondon or whatever. Like
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
See if anyone notices. Maybe that's the experiment they're doing. They're just
Well,
like, it's
there've
the
been so
exact-
many sets, and I think that's our next point right now is that we have been promised that there were going to be 6 standard sets every year, which is already more than we would normally have. Because in most sets or most years, we would usually have 4. And it's been 4 for a really long time.
And it'd be and then it became 4 plus some like supplemental stuff that's not going into standard
Yeah.
or is like doesn't, not everyone has to worry about every release kind of thing.
Yeah, but the classic thing was like we have 3 sets part of the block and then a core set, right?
Yeah.
And then Lorwyn changed that where it was like big, small, and there was no core set that year, stuff like that. But now we've moved into 2025. We're like, here we go, 6 sets a year. They're all standard legal. Can you guys keep up? And we're like, not really. This is a lot. We're having a hard time. Like we're kind of drowning. And then they're like, how about next year is 7? Ka-da-da-da. And we're like, jeez. I hope that this Ninja Turtles thing is barely a set and we can kind of skip over it because, wow, this is a lot. Front loaded January, March, April, June. That's 4 in 6 months. And then the other, it's just so much.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to just play Lorwyn straight through till Strixhaven. Kind of
I would
thing,
hope so. Yeah. I kind of like
hope
if
that's
we
an
can,
option.
it might be, right? It might be an option that we can just
Maybe a
get it,
few weeks
skip.
off when like Ninja Turtles drops.
Play it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I should do with this
And then
new
there's
set.
Lorwyn flashbacks like 2 weeks later or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like quote unquote. Or do they just keep it all the way through? Because I still think we can play Edge of Eternity. So it's like,
Yeah,
just
okay.
let
Then
you-
maybe they're loading the same thing here.
yeah, where it's like, this is the Spider-Man version or whatever. But it's like, please don't give us more sets. I can't handle this many. It's too much. It's too much.
This is a lot of sets.
7 is a lot. Especially because there's 4 Universes Beyond and 3 Magic, which they said they were going to be 50-50. But the second year we're into this, it's not 50-50.
Yeah.
So I can't trust anything that they say.
And look, I know that all of these are going to be good. Or at least,
Some of them will be good. Well, we're currently sitting in the first like kind of stinker, right?
yeah. And I don't even necessarily know if the stinker here is the set or the
draft
draft
format.
format.
I'm really hoping it's the set and not the draft format. I'm still hoping that that's what it is.
I'm going to jump into a sealed event, I think, and then
and try and
it has
see.
nothing to do with pick 2 and is it just the limited format itself? But yeah, like what I was going to say is I'm sure most of these sets are going to be good. But looking at this, like I'm excited for Lorwyn.
Same.
The rest of this, like I'm sure I'll play and enjoy, but I'm not excited for any of these other than
Wow.
Lorwyn. Like I don't know, The Hobbit I'm sure is going to be good too. I'm curious about Secrets of Strixhaven.
I think I'm more curious about Reality Shatter just because we don't know anything about it.
Yeah, but like that's marketing.
Fracture,
They've engineered curiosity here.
All right. Well, don't say that I'm being manipulated by the people. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I
Don't
am.
get manipulated by the people.
All right. But yeah,
But like, I'm not a huge Marvel person. I'm not a huge Star Trek guy, and Ninja Turtles could take it or leave it, right? So it's like, I mean, I
I
never
will
really
be-
watched. I liked the Super Nintendo game. The Ninja Turtles Super
Oh.
Nintendo game is fantastic.
is that the same as the arcade game? Because
Turtles in Time or Turtles Through Time.
I don't know.
It was an arcade game, but you literally like side scroll your way.
Yeah, and you move up and down,
through,
and
like
you
time, and you just
Oh.
like throw bad guys like these ninjas all over the place. And
Yes, I do remember that part. I don't know if it was through time. I don't remember that part of the game. But I remember when I would go to an arcade and the Ninja Turtles game was there, it was on the tier of The Simpsons, Simpsons
Yeah,
arcade
no,
game,
that's
Ninja
I think it's probably the
Turtles.
same one. Maybe you never beat the first level, which is New York, but then you get thrown back in time.
All
Um,
right. Okay. Well, wow. You're really just like just kicking me in the dirt
I
here.
know you're just making it so easy.
Well, I
Um,
always do, Jeff. I always do.
but no, if the announcement is this is MTG Turtles Through Time, then I'll go crazy. If it's specifically about that video game from my childhood, then I'll be like,
It
yeah.
easily
But
could be, Jeff.
I am kind of the
Okay,
target demographic.
Jeff. If that set comes out and there's a card that is Dubious Challenge, but they renamed it Turtles Through Time, are you playing that card?
Of course.
You're like, check out my Turtles Through Time deck.
Yeah, I will flip my opinion so quickly.
Yeah.
They already put Emrakul on Arena. It's all there.
It's all there. It's they put Emrakul and Flicker Wisp, so you just
Yeah.
need your Turtles Through
Just,
Time.
I just need Turtles Through Time, the card.
It kind of sounds like it would work.
Yeah, the flavor is not. It's not a mismatch.
It's not a mismatch.
See, I was about to say my issue is like, even if they acknowledge the awesomeness of Turtles Through Time, I might get one card that references it. But if that card is a functional Dubious Challenge reprint, that changes my criticism entirely. That's worth it.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, 7 sets next year. A lot to think about. Yeah. Anyway, Jeff, I think it's time for closing time. It's not closing
Yes,
time.
definitely.
It's time for last call. We should talk about this beer. We should probably do that before we get to the end of the episode. Excuse me. Jeez. I've been holding that in for a while. I just want everyone to know that. And it's gone now, and I feel so much better.
Well done.
We rate our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, this has nothing to do with what tier you are in currently, because everybody's in different tiers at different times. So don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers, they're trash, they're horrible. Spit them out, pour them on the ground, you pee on them, you hate them.
Silver beers. These are bad or boring.
Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't really drink it again.
Platinum, solid. Totally would drink it again.
Diamond beers are exceptional. You like them a lot, you show them off to your friends.
Mythic. These are the best of the best. These are the Turtles Through Time, the beer world. I'm not even 100% sure that's the name of the game, but I'm going.
We should look it up. But Jeff, Mr. October, are you feeling this beer? Or did it come out of left field from you? For you?
I would say neither. I liked it. I wanted a bit more from it, though. Like, I
Interesting.
don't know. Maybe when I think of an Oktoberfest beer, my opinion's a bit skewed from a few that I've had from around here. But this is a little more like towards the drinkable, crushable end and a little less
Yeah.
towards the flavorful end than what I was expecting. So I think that's like a valid interpretation when I think of an October, like a fest beer. It is supposed to be like a lager, it's not supposed to be punching you in the mouth with hops and, weird things that they put in it. It's traditional style. It's like a German drinkable beer. But to me, it's always been like, but it has a little more body and flavor than when you think of those kind of crushable
Yeah.
German beers. And to me, this is pushing a little more towards those crushable German
The
beers,
crushable
a
side,
little
yeah.
less towards those more body and flavor versions that I've come to love. But it was good.
I I agree with that to the extent that like I actually came into this thinking it was going to be more crushable. And so then when it was
Okay.
less crushable, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of nice." It also strangely gave me like a almost peanut butter vibe from the flavors that were in it. that have
Okay.
nothing to do with peanut butter, and I don't know
Man, I
why.
wish I had a little more to just try it again now that you've said that.
I have no idea where that was coming from, but it does have that, like, it reminds me of like the Hacker Shore kind of like the malts of that, where they're like not too deep and dark and not really sweet either, but there's almost like a creamy something
Right.
and a nutty something.
There's a bit of
But-
nuttiness for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I'm randomly just tasting peanut butter, but it was the first thing I tasted was like, why does this taste like peanut butter?
Maybe you're traumatized by the
Peanut butter beers that
milkshake
we've had
beer.
before. But
One of the
So
very
that-
few bronze beers we've actually encountered.
yeah, it did. It threw me off a little bit. So I'm kind of in a space where like I don't really know I don't know if I really liked this because it was bizarre and like tasty. Because I honestly I'm sitting here. I had 2 of them. I wish I had the rest of the case. You know, I want more of them.
Yeah.
But almost to just kind of try to figure out what that is.
Yeah, just to
Like, I can't tell if it's because
just
I
to
like
understand
it a lot or,
why I just
yeah, why? Or like I just don't know.
or do I like it?
But as far as
Mysterious.
our rating scale goes,
For me, it's pretty definitively platinum. It's like
Mm-hmm.
this was good, but I feel like I've had beers in this style that I prefer.
yeah,
But I drank 2 of them happily and have nothing, and I would
Yeah.
get more if that was an option to me.
which is like the majority of beers kind of fit into a platinum range where it's like, am I going to tell people this is the October beer you should get? No. But do I want more of it? Yes.
Yeah.
So, platinum.
Your analysis is a little more like off our grading scale. So you're
Yes. It is.
could be anywhere from bronze to mythic on yours. Like peanut butter beer, bronze.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, peanut butter beer, don't hate it. I am also, you know me, I'm open to weird stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say I like the name a lot. So high platinum for this beer.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pick up some more for October just to fully understand, and maybe it'll move up to diamond. Who knows? Who knows? But
It's good.
Anyway.
It's good. I just already have a fest beer that I have my eyes on. So
and as everyone knows, you can only have one. That you cannot have more.
can't have 2 different fest beers.
No,
That's crazy.
you're a cheater and a liar and a dirty, dirty snake.
Goes against the German purity law.
Yeah. Literally, it's written down. It's illegal. Jeff, let's go to closing time.
Let's do it.
You can always reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
May also find us on Arena itself. Username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at @theregular_Zach. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, all those places. But if you go to Twitch on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be playing Magic there, and you can talk to me in real time. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Best place is our Discord channel. If you want to come talk to us about beer, about magic, about Star Trek, I guess, you can come and talk to us there. Also, once a month, we hold an Arena Peasant Cube Draft. That means no rares, no mythic rares. It's all commons and uncommons. If you're like me, you have way too many common and uncommon wildcards you're not sure what to do with. Here's a great way to use them. Join our Cube Draft. That's all you need to use is those common and uncommon wildcards. And honestly, the cube is well designed. It's super fun. Happens once a month. Occasionally there's prize support. Not every time. But it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And link for our Discords in the show notes.
That is right. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. Go to our YouTube channel, check out our videos, comment all the things. It means a lot to us. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that your world champion, well, not the most recent one, but the one before that, designed a cube card.
Good night. All right, that's fine.